On today's edition, we focus on improving public understanding of systemic barriers such as limited access to land, credit, training, and markets that hinders women in agriculture. We are also highlighting real-life examples of women farmers who are successfully overcoming these challenges and gaining access to essential agricultural support. Joining me to share their wealth of knowledge is the topic, Smallholder Women Farmers and Barriers to Agriculture. Support is Chika Oji. She is the Programs and Communications Officer, SWAFON Secretariat, Abuja. And shortly, we'll be joined by Nena Mercy Chukuma, SWAFON member, FCT, Abuja. And to you, our esteemed listener, the telephone line to make your contributions are 080-8281-4453 or 0815-091-0483. I call the numbers again, 080-8281-4453 or 091-5091-0483. You can send your questions on WhatsApp to 0810-250-7579. I call the number again, 0810-250-7579. We are also live on Facebook. Questions, you can drop your, don't forget to include your name and location when you're leaving your contribution. So to begin with, we're talking about women today, and I'm honored to have joined us today a woman that has been advocating for how women can be inclusive. So what are some of the gender-related challenges that small women farmers face in accessing land, credit, and agricultural inputs?
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. Let me start with some key set data we have. According to statistics, smallholder women farmers make up 70% of agri-labor force. Okay. Having said that, they make up this 10%, but only 10% of them have or own a land, have access and control to land. So how would they increase food security? Having said that, there are other barriers they face. They are not in the decision-making spaces. Like there is an adage that says you can't cut my hair behind me. That's if right. They are not at the decision-making spaces, how would you know their needs? When you talk about budget allocation, they are not there. Their needs are most times not identified, so they have these challenges. Then talk about post-harvest loss. It's a big thing. There is food at the moment in Nigeria, but then there is food wastage. There was in 2023, there was this statistics, and Nigeria was in the world. Nigeria was rated the first in food shortage or wastage, and that means that there is need for post-harvest loss. So these women talk about socio-cultural demands. So most regions or tribes, as a woman, you cannot own a land, even access, then talk about the girls and the women. Look at intersectionality. The young girls work in the family farms, and the old women work in their own farms, and still they face these barriers which are not helping them. And this means that there is perpetuation of poverty around them. And then how do we want agricultural policies to increase?
Okay, so before we talk about women generally, can you just tell us, what is it like as we speak? What is the situation like? Talking about the current situation in 2025. We've seen a lot of reports that have had a lot of data that has backed a lot of issues concerning women being inclusive in agricultural inputs, credit loan, and all of that. What is the current situation as we speak for women?
Okay, so I'll pick you one by one. I'm going to talk about gender, women now, from the intersectionality lens. That woman farmer, there is that old poor woman farmer at the rural area. That's right. That woman farmer that is a single mom, that woman farmer that is living with disability, that young girl that is a woman farmer, they don't have access to finance. Then come to talk about access to finance, because they are going through a lot. It's not been easy for them, but despite that, they are trying to they continue to create a path for themselves and support themselves. And how do they do this? They now bring themselves together in cooperatives, and they bring themselves together in social groups such as the VSLA, Village Savings and Loan Associations, where they use the money to help themselves. It's not good enough. Then some of them, yes, their literacy level is very poor.
Yes.
And they need to go beyond this. Technology has come to stay. There are adversary situations, but to an extent now, the use of Android phone have helped them. They get these informations. They can, to an extent, reach out to look at information on weather changes and all that. Let me talk of something. When Akinwumi was the former Minister for Agriculture, there was something he did. We call it GESS, and that meant that inputs like the fertilizer, any input, the women, you only need to check your phone. As long as they have your data on your phone, you get a text message. This is the amount, this is the allocation, and they go to the whatever location they are giving and pick it. And this was helpful for them. Yes. And at this juncture, I'm asking, can we get this back again for the women? Because there was a transparency, there was accountability in that process. We need that back. So. Yeah.
Talking about accountability, the ICIR published an article, an investigation that was done by the ICIR on the Spark project. It's very shocking. There's a woman, a teacher from Anambra, that had just invested all her salary to farm inputs, and to the greatest of the shockest of the surprises, she is a woman that is living with disability. Only for her to get to where she was supposed to collect some of the seedlings and fertilizers, one woman from nowhere came, collected everything, saying that she's representing that community, and the people that were there said they don't even acknowledge her. I think these are some of the issues that has been on the burner of women farmers and all. So the question now is, can you give us practically, what are the practical examples of women that in your community that have successfully overcome these barriers to access agricultural support and resources?
Yeah, so I work with women farmers. I'm an advocate and a policy expert working with smallholder women farmers, and community, the rural area, is our precise core. So at SOFON, that smallholder women farmers organization in Nigeria, we try to, for you to be a member of SOFON, you must belong to the cooperative. SOFON is a cooperative-based organization. It's a women farmers movement.
So is SOFON everywhere in the country? And SOFON how can local women access?
Yeah, so SOFON is across the 36 states and FCT. So SOFON, let me explain we have 9 national executives, 37 state coordinators, and 774 local government coordinators. So SOFON is across the states and across the local government. So you can be a member, but you must belong to a cooperative. So from SOFON, yes, and that's why in SOFON, for that they can access. We've had the women farmers through SOFON platform access inputs, access even any support, even financial, through the SOFON platform. Recently, the federal government of Nigeria gave the women some inputs and machineries. In fact, as at today, on their platform, they were sharing it according to states that didn't have it. So yes, they do get it.
Okay. So, most people, the issue we've discovered over the years is access to information. You talked about women that have Android phones, and we've noticed over the years, listening to Spark and even hosting some Spark radio programs, we've noticed that women that live in the rural areas don't have access to Android phones. How is SOFON bridging that gap?
Okay, so we'll continue to carry on advocacy. like I said, I explained that we have 774 local government coordinators, and they are in cooperatives. We have the state level coordinators. When we have meetings or advocacy or campaign or anything, we bring them to the city like Abuja. They step down these trainings, and we ensure they step down these trainings to the local government, and the local government step it to the communities or what as they may be. So right. They get this information, the women get trained. And SOFON is not just for SOFON members, it's for the smallholder women farmers across any community, any local government, any ward in Nigeria.
Okay, so we've been having a conversation concerning small women farmers and barriers to agriculture, and today we'll be having this conversation with Chika Oji. She is the Programs and Communications Officer, SOFON Secretariat, Abuja. We're also expecting Nana Mercy Chukuma to join us shortly. But before we go on a break, I will want you to be on the know that we are streaming live on Facebook at the ICIR. That's the username, or you can type it in full, the International Center for Investigative Reporting. So we're going on a short break. When we come back, the program continues shortly. To tackle pressing issues in our nation, such as unequal maternal health care services, gender-inclusive agricultural support for small-scale women farmers, access to loans, and much more, the International Center for Investigative Reporting presents Spark 2.2, a 30-minute radio program aimed at igniting discussions on these challenges and preferring solutions to them. Spark 2.2 airs every weekday on different radio stations across Nigeria. Mondays, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, 5 to 5:30 p.m. Tuesdays, Anambra Broadcasting Services, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Wednesdays, Freedom FM Kano and Jigawa, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Thursdays, Prestige FM Mina, 5:30 to 6 p.m. Fridays, Live Radio Ibadan and Sweet FM Abeokuta, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Spark 2.2 is supported by the International Budget Partnership, IBP. You're tuned to the network service of Radio Nigeria, and the program is brought to you by the International Center for Investigative Reporting and supported by International Budget Partnership, IBP. We've been discussing smallholder women farmers and barriers to agricultural support. We've been having these conversations with Ms. Chika, and she's been giving us an in-depth understanding of what everyday Nigerians need to know on the street. But you can be a part of the conversation, or you can also call or join us on Facebook. We are live on Facebook at the ICIR. The number to send your contributions are 080-8281-4453 or 0915-091-0483. That's the number to join us. I call the numbers again: 0803 0808 281 4453 or 0915 091 04483. That's the number to join us. Don't forget that we are streaming this live on Facebook. Now, what are some of the societal norms and social inclusion that affect women participation in farmer cooperatives? You made mention of one that you slightly stated.
So, one of them, land is an important thing. Land is really, really important for the women, because how do you increase food security? How do we increase agri-food system, improve on agri-food system when there is no land? There is need to have access to land.
But we're told in this part of the world that women don't own land.
Yes, so that is why we want to change the narrative. So trying to talk to, so it's not about us. We have the NGOs, the coalition partners that are supporting us to let them see, even the men, community leaders and religious leaders at the community levels. When we go for meetings, before now, women cannot be part of any meeting in the community. But these days, you see them, they even have titles. So meaning that, yes, little by little, we are breaking down those barriers, those social, cultural, patriarchal barriers, but we are still on it that we are changing the narrative. She needs the land. When they are 70% of the labor force, but they have only 10% of the land.
Wow.
Come on.
Do the maths.
So it's really poor. We need to be there and then talk about the budget allocation. They are not there. You know, we are talking about women-friendly, not gender this time, women-friendly equipment, women-friendly responsive service delivery that talks about them, that help these women, because they are the agri-labor force. They have a lot that are going through, but even at that, they still trying to ensure they amplify their voices through the support of NGOs, coalition partners, and others.
So let's talk about how women can access these lands. What are the modalities that are set in place? How can my grandma that is listening or even watching this video, how can she get a piece of land?
So we have the men there, like we do now. It's not about fighting them. We talk.
That's right.
We are talking with them. We are asking. We are collaborating.
That's
we are
right.
making them understand why they need this thing. When you feed a woman, when a woman gets the money, the family is fed, the community is fed.
That's right.
No, everybody is in tune. So when you give her this, support her with this land,
That's
and
right.
you see there is food, the health bills are paid, the school fees are there, and the community at large, and Nigeria, the nation, also there is food security in the nation. So give her that land. We talk with them. We are now engaging with the community leaders. We are engaging with the religious leaders. Even the men in the household, the husbands, talk to them. We are talking to them. Some of them are even supporting to an extent on this.
All right, to our esteemed listener, the telephone lines are open. You can make your contributions on the number 080-8281-4453 or 0915-091-0483. That's the number you can make your contribution. You can send your questions on WhatsApp to 08010 250-7579. We have a caller.
Hello, good evening. Yeah, please, what is so fun? We want to see how we can partner with you by fundraising.
Okay.
Raising fund to partner with you so that women could get much to do with their program.
Okay, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah?
What is your name, sir, and where are you calling from?
My name is Arigenua Bayon.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Okay, so
Send me a text on this line.
all right. Thank you so much. So he's
I have
asking.
to connect you.
Okay, thank you so much. So our guest is here. She will respond to your question.
I'm hearing for the first time.
All right, thank you so much. He's asking what is SWAFON and how can he partner with SWAFON to raise funds for SWAFON. That's what he's saying, so that at least he can also, have more women on board.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the question and joining in. So SWAFON means Small Scale Women Farmers Organization in Nigeria.
Okay.
It's across the 36 states. It's a women farmers network that was established to increase food agriculture productivity, increase the economic landscape for the women farmers, and also help them build their capacity to know their left from their right, so that they can even demand from their rights from the duty bearer. So SWAFON is there it's not just about increasing food. There is also need for policy reforms, which we are working on with the government. Let me shift a bit. The 2029 National Gender Policy in Agriculture. SWAFON is part of the community, the committee on that, and now it's on they've done the update, which is going to be for 2025 to 2030. But the point is I'm trying to shift a bit here, because I need to put this, that there is this policy. It's working, but it seems it's working at the national level. We need it to step down to get to the community level. And when it gets to the community level, the local level, then you now see, to an extent, there should be impact of these policy reforms with this at the community level. Because when you talk about subsistence farming and the farming, it's there at the community level. They do more of this. So we want to have them as corporate. What if they are corporate farmers?
That's right. So how can he get across to SWAFON? Is there an email or a phone number to contact SWAFON directly? Because he's asking how can he partner. Now that you've said so, how can he reach you?
So we have an office at Guarimpa 41 Crescent, Action Aid office. We have an office that there. Our email is sofon8@gmail.com. sofon8@gmail.com. Please, you can send a mail. We have our social media handles on Instagram, on Facebook,
X,
and on X app.
Okay. And so the one good thing about SWAFON is actually very active in those platforms, and I'm very sure that the caller that just called, your inquiries will definitely be attended to. And to you listening, we want you to contribute to this program. That is why you need to head on to our Facebook at the ICIR. We are live. Make sure you leave your name and where you're commenting from. And to you that is listening, you can be a part of the program by calling our telephone line, because it's officially open on 080-8281-4453 or 0915-091-0483. That's the number to reach us here in the studio. Before we wrap up, we want to know just this one question. What are some of the systemic barriers that have persisted over the years for women to be inclusive? Like you said, it's not as if the women are fighting the men, but no, we're having a conversation, right? So what are some of the systemic barriers that has been noticed over the years?
Well, how long will I continue to mention land, then finance?
That's right.
Finance. Because even with the finance, the VSLA, we still need the men to collaborate with us. We still want it to be community level.
That's
Recently, SOFON did a training for the women on VSLA village, because most of the communities, there are no banks there. And even if there are banks, the collateral is so much. They ask you to bring a land, you must bring a land or bring your husband. And as a result, we're trying to train and establish them on VSLA. They have it already, but we are going into those communities that there are no banks to help them. You can support yourself. So even the men, we had to reach out to the stakeholders, the community leaders and all that. So my point is that finance is a huge thing. Mm-hmm. Technology has come to stay. We need them to be trained, because systematically or low literacy is an issue.
That's right.
But when you teach them, you'll be shocked the much they know. They even train you. How about budget allocation? When they talk to you about budgeting, you'll be shocked. So yes, we need to improve.
So what are some of the commitments or the next steps that government and communities can take to advance these activities in the rural areas?
So at the rural area, we're asking for extension agents, extension workers, but female extension workers. When we get them, they get close to the women. Timely extension agents, female extension agents. Then these finances, they need support with that. Like I already mentioned, the national gender policy, can that be trickled down to the community level, at the local government level, so that the impact will be seen? And then we'll go back to input, technologies, then advisory services. We can get this down to the women, and it means a lot for them. And I'm sure when we do that, there will be improved agri-food system.
Okay, for you that is just joining us for the first time, we are looking for just one last caller. We have a man that is calling to know how to partner with SWAFON. We want a woman to call. Please, this program is for you. That is why you need to call us, because we are talking about women farmers, how they can have access to land, to farm, access to some farm inputs. Now, for you to be a part of the conversation, you can call and make your contributions to 08082 8184453. I call the number again, 08082814453, or 0915-091-0483. And for you that is watching us on Facebook, let us know. Okay, we have a caller. All right. Hello.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine. Good evening and welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okedeji from Abuja.
Sorry, I didn't get your name, sir.
Okedeji from Abuja.
Okay, all right.
I want to ask your guest, how are they coping with the security challenges, or how is the security condition in the country constituting challenges to them?
Okay.
Because even men are afraid of going to work on the farm.
That's right.
To talk of women.
Okay.
So how are they coping with that?
That's right.
My question for your guest.
All right. Thank you so much. You got his question, right?
Yeah,
all
I
right.
did.
Yes.
Okay, so actually it's quite scary, it's quite disturbing, it's not been easy, and it actually reduced the land mass, the number of, the agricultural production the women do now. So they tend to go in groups. When we visit them in some of the local governments or states, they tend to move in groups. Yes. Then there is the agro rangers in Abuja FCT. They have the agro rangers. So sometimes we have to reach out to them. We had a meeting sometime with them, and they said, yeah, they have them. So either they support them, and in some states, like Oyo State, they have this police. In Niger State, actually, they have them that support them with the security challenges.
All right, that's so much we can take on the program. And today we've been having a conversation with Chika Orji. She's the Programs and Communications Officer at Swafon Secretariat Abuja. And today we hope that this episode has raised your awareness of the systemic issues and sparked ideas on how governments, NGOs and communities can work together to create a more inclusive and supportive environment for women in agriculture. Stay tuned next week edition as we continue to shed light on important topics shaping our world. Until then, keep supporting and empowering smallholder women farmers because their success benefits all of us. Many thanks to the studio manager, the engineer Hassan Usman, ICT Jonathan Ena, studio manager Usman Mohammed, and to you, see you next week.